Welcome to the Panic Button, everyone. I'm Nina.
I'm Jesse.
And today we're reacting to a article, or a story on X. Headline reads, Colorado woman shares regret after 20-year detransition journey. 20 years.
Wait, so are they regretting detransitioning, or are they regretting not transitioning sooner?
They regret transitioning. So it says here, Dela Cruz, the woman in question, endured a hysterectomy causing a perforated bowel, emergency surgery, 2 clinical deaths, and a colostomy bag, plus a double mastectomy that deepened her voice and stole family time. She warns that children cannot handle such irreversible steps. Most won't survive the mental weight. Her December 10 video bolsters Protect Kids Colorado drive for 2026 ballot measures to ban sex change surgeries on minors under 18, protect girls' sports, and toughen penalties on child traffickers. Doctors and lawmakers praise her courage as the fundraising campaign nears its goal.
Oh, well, that's good. I mean, not what she went through, but it's
Right.
good that they're finally, reaching the goal that they were getting to.
So she posted a video on X, and the caption reads, "This is my most emotional video. I tell the truth that is hard to face and took a long time to understand. Please support our cause so no child has to ever face this alone after irreversible damage is done."
So this may be one of my more serious videos. I think the transition made me really hate myself. It made me really hate pretending, but not being able to admit I was pretending. I hated every minute of it, if I was being honest. I felt so isolated, alone. Like men, they just function so differently. And then I feel bad for them too, because it's isolating. Like, none of them connect the way that women do. Sorry. This thing took a lot away from me. You know, like, I had 10 years away from my family. You know, I lost parts of my body I'll never recover. Even things that other women could do, excuse me, like even going through menopause, or even as much as I used to hate even having a period, I miss it. I miss my body. I miss my voice. I used to have such a very soft voice. This thing didn't fix anything for me. It took so much from me, and it made me have to go deeper within myself and repair so much more than what was necessary. And I can't even believe we're in the age to where we're actually giving this to children who can't even bear this weight. I barely could hold it. I'm barely getting a grasp of it now. But then, every day I was on the edge. Every day I was just hoping not to wake up. And I would ask constantly, I would just be like, whatever is out there, like, just please just let me wake up tomorrow. And then I'd wake up. Ever since recovering from this disorder is the only time that when I wake up, I'm grateful and I'm gracious. And I'm elated to be in this world again, because I am me now. I am truly me. Like, we cannot be doing this to kids. They're not equipped to mentally deal with the weight of this. And that means that most will not survive this process. Do you realize that? Most will not survive this process. Like, please support Protect Kids Colorado. Please go out, sign the petition. Please raise money for this. We can't be doing this anymore. Enough is enough, and it needs to stop now. Thank you for listening to me.
While I was watching this, I was thinking, a lot of these kids who transition are transitioning because they know other people who are transitioning and it seems cool to them or like that fits them. But
Or it's the new outcast, it's the new goth kid, it's the new
Right.
anti-trend.
right. But these are friends that they have in high school, right? Or like middle school.
Not
for
always.
example. High
College.
school- She's talking about kids, so that's where I'm going with this.
Yes, but yes, those kids.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with this. I'm talking about children specifically. So high school and middle school, they are transitioning because their friends are transitioning. And a lot of kids, when they're this age, most of them, they just want to fit in. So
Or
they're
they
going
see
along with it.
celebrities that transition and they want to emulate that.
Right. But once you get out of high school, most people, or middle school, most people don't stay friends with those same people. So they're going to go out into the world and be friends with other people, most who aren't trans. And they're probably going to feel very isolated and alone and want to be similar to the friends that they will come into contact with later in life. And I can understand how that could be very isolating. And another reason why you shouldn't be allowing children to transition, because it's not like their brains are fully developed. It's not like their opinion, like an opinion you had when you were a child and what I had when I was a child are completely different to the opinions I have now, or even from my 20s or your teens. So you can't assume that a person is going to have the same state of mind their entire life.
No, and if they did, that'd be worse. That means they never change. They never learn. Mm-hmm. I think the bigger thing is that you don't want to push it on kids. I don't know if she had this on when she was a kid, but she's got a great point to say that most people can't handle something like that. Being perceived as a gender that you're not, most people can't handle something like that. It's something you really have to consider, and I don't know what their cause is doing besides pushing against, like pushing for legislation against it. But you're not doing children any services by letting them augment their bodies in ways that they can't fix in the future. I say wait till they're 18. I don't think it's that hard.
I was thinking about this the other day. Mom Donnie, he's going to be taking over as mayor of New York City in January. Mm-hmm. And he is allowing it that children will be able to transition in New York City. And I'm trying to understand the mindset an individual has who's not, who doesn't have like trans children, family members, those kind of things. What would make you want to be for children
Money.
surgically transitioning? If it's not money.
It's always
What-
money.
So you think that the only reason why he's for it is because he's going to be getting paid?
Money and optics. It's the views of his side, the leftist, to let kids transition. He gets more money by getting this job, views, optics, and money.
You're allowing children to get surgeries on their chest.
Yeah,
and
but
their,
that's not his child. That's
their-
not his family's children. That's why he's okay with it.
Yeah, any politician who pushes for it. I mean, I don't think anyone should really trust any politicians to begin with. But when a politician pushes for something like this, there's a whole other level of violent evil that I can't even comprehend. I mean, why would you trust a politician that pushes for children transitioning? Why would you trust that they're doing it for a moral reason?
Because there's a whole, almost 50% of the country that thinks that's a good moral thing to do. I don't know. If we understood why they thought it was good and moral, we'd be on that side.
But who's really pushing it? I mean, it's not like the children are pushing it.
Some of them are because they think they get the right to.
They're pushing you think that most of these children are pushing their
I said
parents to push
some.
for it?
I said some, and no, I think that these kids get praise from their parents for doing it, and so then they feel like they got to push it more.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell if it's the kids that are ones pushing their parents or if it's the parents the ones that are pushing the kids.
Well, because it's never just one. Some parents will push their kids to do it, even though the kids don't feel like that's what they want to do, and vice versa. Some parents will be pushed into accepting that this is what their kid wants to do, even though this is not what they want for their kid.
It's like a hobby to some parents, celebrity parents and such, because I mean, a lot of celebrity parents, they have like multiple trans kids, which I just think is incredibly crazy because it doesn't make any sense with like percentages. Mm-hmm. Trans is 0.1%.
Something like that.
Yeah, or 0.7%, whatever it is. That's a very small percentage. And when you're seeing a large group of trans children in one sector of society, that should be something to be concerned about, because trans isn't something that people should want to be.
Well, it's not like you.
You know what I mean?
It's not like you should hate it and be like, I could never be. But, like, have respect that, like, oh, they went through a lot to even get to this point. And, like, in a perfect world, they go through the proper guidelines. And I wouldn't have to fear that they're just crazy people, because I'd know that they were going through the proper procedures.
It's like Hollywood, for example, they skip all the steps just to go right to the extreme with everything. And it's like, as much as people don't listen to Hollywood, it seems like a lot of people, especially on the left side, listen to Hollywood a lot, especially when it comes to this trans thing. I mean, they have money, and they're like, look at how happy my child is, and blah, blah, blah. And you see Cynthia Nixon out there saying her stuff, and Rosie O'Donnell and Charlize Theron and Megan Fox for their trans kids. And they're preaching this.
Activia. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, they're preaching this.
You couldn't
fantasy.
tell which one's trans and which one's not, really.
It's like it's a fantasy. It's not real. They're like, well, look at how wonderful my child is doing. But you don't know how they're doing when the camera's not on them. You're buying into their bullshit and assuming that your child is going to be just as happy as their child seems on camera.
Or they just get the attention for it, and they want the accolade. They want the attention. They want the, oh, it must be so hard, but you're such a good person.
But why did they... I just don't understand why you would want children to transition. It should be... It's not that they definitely
don't necessarily want their kids to transition. They want the attention from their kids transitioning. They want the positive, oh, poor you. It's like your kid having cancer. Oh, no, your kid has cancer? You're such a good parent for taking care of them through all that.
It just seems so completely deranged.
Yeah, I did want to back up and touch on something she said at the beginning. She said that men don't connect like women do. And that's a common thing that we keep hearing from people who are trans men. Men don't connect like women do. Men don't look at you when you walk in the bathroom. Men don't smile at you and say, how's your day been? Women do with other women. And it's something that you're going to find out really quick, which is why they recommend socially transitioning, because you have to realize the social differences between men and women.
Yeah, that's like testing it out before you buy the car.
And I'm not even blaming her. I'm saying this is the problem with how they're functioning. Just giving them procedures, giving them testosterone. You don't know that they can handle being a man.
How they're making it look is not how it actually is. They make it look like you're going to be happy and you're not going to have a lot of like physical issues. Like,
don't you remember that video we saw where that trans man was crying because a woman like looked at him funny or something?
Was it the one that was in the car?
It was something like that. He looked really good for a trans man, but he was like sobbing because men treat men differently and women treat men differently than we treat women.
Yeah, she obviously didn't know much about men and how they connect with each other, because she assumed it was like how women do it.
At least
she was yearning for that, and obviously you're not gonna get it.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's sad. I don't blame them. I blame the people who allow them to transition before they fully understand what it's like to socialize with men.
Another problem is that the whole the LGBTQ pride, GLAAD. They don't give you the raw, brutal, honest truth about it. They never do. They didn't about the vid. They don't about Ozempic. They don't about a lot of things. They just make it all glittery and flowers and rainbows. And they don't give you the side effects. You know what I mean? They don't give you what could possibly happen that's wrong.
Yep.
They just say, well, you'd rather have a dead son or an alive daughter, or vice versa. They make that claim or question. And I think it's incredibly dangerous not to give the full information about it. You're holding back certain information because you have...
ulterior motives.
Yeah, ulterior motives. And that's incredibly evil, sick, twisted.
It's wrong.
Like, oh, your child feels like a boy? Well, what does that mean? Well, you can't question it because stupid laws in blue states. So you have to just go along with it. And then your child transitions. And then
who do you blame when they're miserable after?
Right.
They can blame you, the parent, because you let them do it.
But won't the parent just say, well, that was a decision you wanted to make and I went with you on it because I thought you knew better?
But you're a child.
That's what we always say to them. So they never listen.
To say to a kid that you thought that they knew better as an adult is a wild statement.
It is crazy, but they say it as if it's normal.
Yeah, it's just still a wild statement.
It is. It's incredibly crazy. Hey, Mom, I'm going to take the keys even though I don't have a license because
I want to eat ice cream for every meal.
and I want to go drive to Dairy Queen. Well, you know better, son or daughter.
Yeah, sure, do it, Jimmy. Good luck.
It's just crazy. Like, anytime I had to go on a new antidepressant, the first thing I asked was, what are the side effects? Because weight gain was a big thing I didn't want, or insomnia, lack of sex drive. Like, there's a whole slew of side effects for just antidepressants alone. And I have a feeling that a lot of these parents who are allowing their children to chemically and surgically transition aren't asking those questions. Like, what are the side effects?
No, they're
What
just
could go
asking
wrong?
if they feel happy now.
But even if you got the body of your dreams, if you're having to deal with all these physical issues, medical issues, would it be worth it to them, especially as children?
I don't
understand how it
children,
could.
They don't have that reasoning. They don't understand what 10 years looks like because they've only been here for 9.
They don't understand what side effects are either.
Yes, and they don't understand the things that you're talking about. Weight gain, what does a kid care?
That's the problem. That's the main issue. They shouldn't be making these decisions because they can't understand everything that goes along with the transition. They don't understand that when they medically transition to be a boy, that boys are going to treat them not the way that girls treat them. And they can't mentally comprehend that they're going to be treated differently by boys, and they're probably going to get bullied and pushed around. And boys normally don't do that to girls. They're not going to expect that. That's just one facet of it. Mm-hmm. And there's a whole slew of things to consider because it's such a serious thing. These children don't know how to do that. And it's obvious the parents of these children don't know how to do that either. To critically think and to be like, well, what else would change? What else would they have to deal with that maybe no one's considering or telling me about?
Well, the kids don't know. The parents don't know. The only one who knows are the doctors and people who've been through it. And they're all acting like it's sunshines and roses, and it's not.
But even these doctors, if they do know about it, they're definitely hiding it.
That's why I said they're acting like it's sunshine and roses, but it's not.
And why would you trust? Why wouldn't you get a second opinion or a third opinion?
Well, because if they're all in the same, like, number one, it's really hard to begin with to be able to afford a second and a third and a fourth opinion, unless you have good money.
But you can afford to medically, surgically transition your child.
I'm assuming with like government issued healthcare, it's different. But for most people, you have to pay per visit, pay per procedure, pay per this, pay per that.
Medications.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So a lot of if you feel like that's the answer, and this doctor's validating it, why would you go looking for another answer?
Because the first answer isn't always the best one.
But if you think that it's right, why would you go searching for something else? You think it's right.
It's the arrogance of these people. They're just so confident that this is the fix. And
It wasn't the fix for
possibility
her.
that it's not the fix doesn't even cross their mind because everyone's been telling them this is the fix. So you're just going to go along blindly like a freaking sheep. Okay, well, this must be the fix because everyone else is doing it. And I haven't heard anything bad. Meanwhile, you don't know anything bad because no one's telling you because of the circles you surround yourself in. So I don't know. It's tough because I see the child transitioning thing going away in certain areas and then ramping up in others.
Yeah, it's almost like we're super divided right now.
Completely. But the left has an arrogance about this particular subject that I just can't understand.
It's like a holier than thou perspective.
Yeah, like if you don't allow my child to transition, then you're evil. It's like I'm evil because maybe you should consider other avenues, maybe figure out why. You know, like when your stomach hurts for like a week straight, there's a possibility it could be one thing, but there's a multitude of other things it could be. But just because like your friend who had a week-long stomach ache had some, diverticulitis or something like that. You're like, oh, well, I must have diverticulitis. I'm not going to go to the doctor and find out because why? Why would it be? Well, it could be a whole bunch of other things. But in order to get to the bottom of that, you have to do some digging. You have to research or go to your doctor, get tests done. I don't know. Could just be stress and anxiety and you need to go see a therapist.
Need to take a poop.
Maybe you got to poop. Maybe you're backed up. Could be a whole bunch of things, but to just settle on one thing, like this is it. That is so dangerous and scary because there's
Especially
a
with
whole
a
bunch
lack of a definitive proof that is what's wrong.
right, because there's a whole bunch of other underlying things that could be what's going on with your child and why they're saying, I want to transition. You know, just because they heard that transition is the answer for this child because they felt kind of similar to how your child feels doesn't mean that your child, their answer to their misery is transition. It could be so many other things. There could be abuse going on. You don't know. But just to go right to transition instead of trying to figure it out, you're not being a very responsible parent. Negligent. You're neglecting a whole bunch of other things. Because what? You're lazy? You think you know better?
A lot of parents are busy, I will say, but some of them are abusive. Some of them are just like not trying to fight with kids. They want to be their best friend. It's always a cacophony of reasons with that.
That's true. And you can't expect the therapist to find out exactly what's going on because the therapist isn't allowed to question. So how are you supposed to know aside from ask your child, right? And some parents don't know how to talk to their kids.
Yeah, they're not home that often.
Yeah. So they just want the quick fix to go, get out of my face. Mm-hmm. This should be the answer. Kids had the same kind of issues that they have now, years past. We didn't see a slew of unalivings of children. But now we have a lot of threats of unaliving by children because they think that transitioning is the answer for them. You have like two kids. One is depressed and another one is depressed. One is a tomboy and then one likes to wear dresses. So the one that's a tomboy should transition and the one that's depressed who likes to wear dresses needs to go to therapy because something else is going on. Maybe it's the same thing or different things, but we shouldn't just be going to transition.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. I'm at a loss for words at this point.
Well, that's why we gotta keep speaking up, and people like you have to keep speaking up because it's gotta stop at a certain point.
Yeah.
I'm glad there are people like her speaking up, saying what's happened, and it's a very hard thing to have to say, I'm sure, but it's good that you're speaking up to stop other people from having to go through what you went through.
Yeah.
And I drew shit.
Because children transitioning is shit. It's not good. It shouldn't be happening. Just like children shouldn't be driving, shouldn't be drinking alcohol, they shouldn't be smoking, they shouldn't be doing drugs, they shouldn't be having lobotomies, etc., etc.
Yeah. No tattoos.
None of that stuff. But what do you guys think?
What do you think?
Like and subscribe, join our memberships to keep this channel going, and we will see you in the next one.
Wait.
Oh, we're not done.
Wait.
And like and sub. I just said that, but saying it again.
Hi.
Crawling